Hi, this is Marie Blue Angel here, back with Sweetcore Brews, and today it's back to chapter 3 of Kingsley's route in the demo. So last time, Millie brought Cateleya and Landry to Kingsley's office because she suspects that Landry has been cursed. This couple is the couple that's running a retro candy making business, and Millie found them because she is looking for pomacets, which is very hard to find. And when she visited their office to pick up boxes of pomacets, she got to talk to Cateleya and found out that Landry is seemingly cursed. And so she thought of Mr. Kingsley, the curse breaker here. And right now, Millie and Kingsley were talking in another room, and Millie was trying to get Kingsley to go against his general rule of thumb when it comes to contracts and offering his curse breaking services and allowing Cataleya and Landry to pay back the service fee in installment payments rather than all at once. And the chapter ended with Cataleya calling out for Millie and Kingsley because something was happening to Landry. So let's see what's happening, because now we are back officially in this man's office. At once, I bolt straight out of the room without looking back at Kingsley. The only thing that matters right now is rushing straight back to the couch, where Landry's entire body has grown even more decrepit. The color has almost drained entirely off of his face, and he's sliding off the couch like putty as Cataleya tries to desperately steady him in her arms. What happened? I don't know. All of a sudden, he just started fading in and out. Whatever's going on with him, curse or not, I think it's starting to hit him even harder. Fighting back tears, Cataleya tries to lift him back onto the couch, yet his body continues to slide off without any friction to hold him up. Despite this, Cataleya keeps trying, as the tears are now starting to trickle down her face. Please, Landry, stay with me. We're going to figure this out, okay? I just need you to stay with me and keep listening to the sound of my voice. Just relax and think of the forest. You like the forest, remember? And picnics, camping, pinball machines, and shooting stars. You also love pomacets and those little sour candies you always used to buy on your birthday. I notice Landry starting to move as he twists his head in Cataleya's direction. They gaze upon each other for a moment as Cataleya holds all hope in her eyes while watching him gargle once more. Who are you? Oh no. In a single second, the little hope Cataleya did have left goes out in a dying flicker. You don't know who I am anymore? Landry, it's me. You know it's me. She tries to hold his hand, yet his vacant expression says everything. This has already been painful to watch, but now he's gone past looking at her like a stranger. To have your own partner turn into a hollow shell like this, just knowing the pain they must be going through, makes me wish I was more than just a tea-crafting witch. Landry, please. Struggling to speak, Cataleya turns back to me, her heart breaking with each tear trickling down her face. This can't be it for him, Millie. I'm not losing him now. Knowing that I have to stay calm, I do the first thing that comes to mind, which is to rush over and clasp her as she clings onto a fading Landry. I immediately try to look for my thermos, only to find it empty. She must have drank it all, but even if there'd still be more, it wouldn't be enough to get through this. Just seeing the way she's holding Landry, I don't want to believe this is it for them. And the fact that we were so close, and all that anguish could be flicked away could just go away with the flick of that pompous Kingsley's wrist. That's just what drives me. Hearing footsteps coming up from behind me, I get up at once. No matter what it takes, he's got to take at least some kind of an offer. This is an emergency. This is an emergency now. Finding my resolve, I finally turn around. Kingsley, there's no time, so can you... Before I can even finish my sentence, Kingsley strides past me, ready to place his hands flat on Landry's chest. Just like before, Landry starts convulsing. Only this time, Kingsley doesn't pull away. Instead, he pushes his hand harder into his chest until Landry is writhing on the floor, while the rest of us look on in horror. You're almost there, so stay with me. Holding him still, Kingsley clamps a hand to Landry's forehead, which sends his limbs flailing wildly against the floor and his eyes rolling to the back of his head. Then, just as abruptly as it began, Landry collapses and goes silent. Oh God, please don't tell me he is... Wait just a moment. All he needs is a second to breathe. The three of us look on as Landry remains on the ground, his limbs gnarled and his eyes vacant until, all of a sudden, he begins to take a breath. Oh my goodness. His chest is rising. He's breathing again. Oh my God, Landry. Cateleya continues to cling to me, the shock still fresh in her system, even as Landry's eyes begin to blink in clarity. The color is slowly beginning to return to his face as Landry begins to pull himself up, his limbs finally back in his control. Before anything, he searches about the room till front and center, he finds Cateleya already shedding tears of joy. Cata, you're here. Landry! At once, Cateleya unlatches from me and rushes over to Landry for a gentle embrace as she helps him to the couch. The tears, kisses, and embraces are already underway between the two of them as I take a step back to admire them. What a relief. For a minute then, I almost thought that. Without a word, Kingsley moves to stand beside me to give the lover some space. I can't help but smile as he does, as he seems to be looking on in relief. Wait a minute, is it relief I'm noticing, or anticipation that he's going to get paid? A sinking feeling hits me as I give Kingsley a wary look. Yes, Millie? Care to interrupt the moment? That's what I'm wondering about you. Kingsley doesn't say anything, preferring to look on as Landry can now properly hold Cateleya in his arms. The two continue to sweetly whisper at each other until Cateleya notices us from the corner of her eye. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still shocked over all of this, as you can tell. But I don't even think I have the words to begin to thank you, Mr. Kingsley. I still don't even know what to make of everything, or even how, or why. There's just so many questions running through my mind, and I know I'll have so many more, even after we leave this office. That's usually the case with most of my clients, which is why I typically include a proper FAQ in my contract. Oh, right, your contract. I didn't even get to sign it, and you just... God, I hate to say this, but I really don't have the money. All the money right now. Especially now that whatever you did work, I wish I could just give you everything. Aw. I know. But I promise you, we'll do our very best to pay you back as quickly as we can. Now that there's two of us again, maybe it won't take so long. You're likely right about that. Although I don't see a contract stating that you have agreed to pay anything for this service. Am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? Even Cateleya looks like she's waiting for him to pull the rug from under her at any moment. But as that moment arrives, Kingsley merely gives her a knowing nod as her eyes widen to the size of saucers. I don't know what to say, Mr. Kingsley. I mean, are you sure? It's not that we can't pay, but it just might take us a while. Again, I don't see any contract on my desk obligating you to pay me back. So, might I suggest that you invest those earnings back to your own business? It seems that you have some promising partnerships you'll be needing to uphold now that you'll be running in full capacity. We could do that, but isn't there any way we can repay you, even if just a little bit? Well, in that case, I do believe you have a certain pushy client waiting to place some orders to her heart's content. If you really want to repay me, then why not honor her orders? I should warn you, however, she's proven to be a bit of a handful. Hey! Don't say that about our Millie. She's a gem in my eyes. Really, Millie, I can't thank you enough for bringing us to Mr. Kingsley. It's downright surreal to me how even just minutes ago I thought my world was going to end. But now, it feels like we're getting our second wind again. I'm really glad for the both of you. Hopefully Landry will get some rest while he's at it too. That reminds me, now that you just said that, Mr. Kingsley, I don't know if I'm asking this correctly, but is it really possible that Landry was cursed? Well, let's just say that my technique wouldn't have worked if it'd been anything else. Then, do you know what could have cursed him? I'm the least knowledgeable person when it comes to supernatural things, so this is all still really strange to me. I'm kind of waiting for the two of you to tell me that this is all because of something other than a curse. I suppose I could tell you that it was something else, but then it wouldn't be the truth. To avoid disrupting your celebration, I think it's best if you both gave yourself some time before immersing yourself in questions. At the very least, I would suggest for your partner to start considering tracing his steps and keeping meticulous notes about the people he associates himself with. So-called friends, co-workers, or even family, for that matter. The truth is, it's starting to become a lot more difficult to place when an affliction will strike. I see. Well, at least now that I know, I'll try to keep an eye on things. Great. Great things do happen in pairs, so that might be your safest approach. Well then, thank you for coming. Thank you again, Mr. Kingsley. We'll never forget this. Also, thanks for the tea, Millie, and really everything. I'll be sure to get on your orders as soon as I can. Take your time. You know I'll be ready to buy all your Palma sets whenever you are. I almost can't believe what I'm seeing now, as the healthy-looking Landry manages to get up from the couch on his own to follow Cateleya to the door. The two of them give us one last wave before heading out, as I briefly catch them sharing a kiss before the door closes. Aww, it all worked out. That's good. I was worried last episode. But what made Mr. Kingsley change his mind? He does have a little bit of good in him, I'm sure. I mean, I've only really seen him in the prologue and this episode, so I don't really know much about him. But he seemed awfully stubborn last episode, or last chapter. Of course they couldn't resist. I'm sure I wouldn't either. No, that's the understatement of the century. Do I need to remind you who here can't keep their shirt on during work hours? No, we both know that it was mostly for work. Mostly? So, I take it you're going to be swimming in those ancient candies, now that those lovebirds are back in business. I'm hoping so, but right now I'm more relieved that everything's back to normal for them. For a minute there, it didn't seem like it was going to get better. You really did do the right thing today, Kingsley. As nice of a sentiment that is, I'm not willing to make this a norm. For someone who is acting like he's allergic to exceptions, you sure made one pretty quickly, though. And I, for one, am glad you did, because you brought some much-needed good back into the world.
You mean a world of petty curses? It's been getting worse lately. It has to be if afflictions among the working class are now starting to become more commonplace.
Do you really think so?
Afflictions used to be the choice of weapon among the upper echelons. Now, all someone needs to do is take the wrong phone home by accident or report a cheater to the professor, and they become the prime target for a stage 2 or 3 affliction. I wouldn't be surprised if there's stage 4s happening as we speak, which have little to no chance of survival.
Now I'm suddenly getting goosebumps, and it doesn't help seeing Kingsley look so distant right now. Have you dealt with stage 4s before?
I had one this morning, and another scheduled for the last hour. Not a day goes by when my schedule isn't booked, which is why this can't happen again, Millie. I told you before, and I'm telling you now, that I'm neither a charity nor a hospital. My schedule is reserved for those who can afford my services under my conditions and contracts. There's no place for exceptions in my terms, and I trust you to honor that going forward.
With the way Kingsley is standing before me, with his arms crossed and a scowl mounted upon his face, he looks just about ready to reprimand me for those 3 missing assignments I forgot to turn in for a class. Then again, I don't remember having a professor like Kingsley, either, and you think that's something I definitely never forget.
I mean, I wouldn't either, so I get your point there, Millie.
Reading his expression, I cross my own arms at him. You know very well that I'm not trying to mess with your business, but in this case, I really do think you did the right thing. Maybe you don't see it the way I do, but if what you're saying about more people being afflicted daily is true, then you've just given the 2 very special people the chance they need to protect themselves and their loved ones if you won't be there to save them.
The chance they need. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was reading the sentence. I read it wrong. Maybe I did. Who knows?
Despite my words, Kingsley continues to remain silent while eyeing me. I know you're annoyed with me, and that's fine. But if that's really the case, then why would you tell Cateleya to repay you by helping me out? You could have suggested anything else.
But that's what I chose to request from her. And it still stands.
But why?
I think you know why. But just in case, if you require further clarification.
All at once, Kingsley pulls me against his desk, his strong arms wrapping around me as he captures my lips for a spellbinding kiss. Spellbinding? Oh, his lips are so strong. He's the one doing all the moving, while I'm just letting him take me along for the ride. He doesn't waste time pressing me even closer, as his lips lure me in for another kiss, then another, till I soon find my lips parting for him.
Oh, so you do understand. This is what you get for pushing my buttons, Millie Blythe.
Clasping my face in his hands, he gives me one more aggressive kiss before releasing my breathless self as I try to steady myself against his desk. Running a hand through his hair, he takes a second to admire my expression before leaning in.
So, was that enough of an explanation for you? Or were you hoping for a second demonstration?
Well, my lips sure have a lot to think about right now.
Only just your lips?
You guys are so fun.
You're practically holding on to that desk for dear life. And that was just only a kiss to start with, Millie.
Are you threatening her with more, sir? Maybe so, but it was a kiss that said a lot of things all at once. So wait, if this kiss is telling the truth, then you were never really going to make Cateleya sign that contract in the first place, were you? And you still made me try to barter with you.
Of course I had to. Someone has to teach you that you can't always have your way. Not even when you're coming in here trying to charm favors out of me.
But I still did, didn't I? All because you like me.
Millie, if we're doing this, then I've set my conditions for you. So, what's it going to be?
Assure him with a kiss. Give him what he wants. Push his buttons again. Okay. I don't know. I don't think Millie would give him what he wants. Like, she's not gonna do that. I feel like pushing buttons would probably be good. That seems very characteristic of Millie. One could be okay, but I feel like it's the middle answer. Yes, let's see. Oh, a new mature content. This answer choice contains spicy content. Would you like to proceed? As much as I'd love to proceed, I will have to go back because I'm not sure this would be great. It wouldn't be great. I don't think it's allowed on YouTube. So I invite you to check it out for yourself and look at the mature content if that is what you want to do. But it also tells me that my instinct is right, which I'm very proud of. But I also like that we get this little pop-up window. Assure him with a kiss. Oh, so now he's the one who's flustered. At the same time, I can't help but lose myself in his gaze, which is only becoming more intense the longer I keep my answer from him. Now my own heart's pounding as I know what he wants now. It's the exact same thing as I do. Entering his arms, this time I reach up and bring my lips to his. Kingsley doesn't spare a second from pulling me into his grasp, his kisses already growing intense. But before he can take the lead this time, I drift my lips towards his jaw.
Now, what's this one for?
You know why. For being the sweetest, for helping a certain couple. With each word, I plant a kiss along his jaw, making my way down towards his neck. I can feel him tightening against me as he tilts his head back with a satisfied sigh.
For the last time, I told you, I wasn't doing it to be sweet.
Even then, it doesn't change that you did something sweet for them. And for that, I'm just going to have to give you my own reward. My flurry of kisses continue as I spare no spot along his neck, all while I get to claim my own reward as his breath quickens above me. Without warning, he pulls me straight onto his lap as he takes a seat once more, his hands roaming down my back while I trail my lips along him.
You can do all you want, but it's going to take a lot more for me to accept any praise for breaking my own terms.
As he says that, my fingers find their way to the buttons of his shirt. To my surprise, he doesn't flinch, but in fact, he brings his own hand to help me work the first button off. One by one, I undo each button as I watch him relax in my grasp, even as I tug his shirt open. Speech error. He merely reaches up to caress my flushed face.
Feeling bold already?
Smirking, he tilts my chin down as I finally take in the sight of his glorious chest. Well, what a sight, I'm sure it is indeed. Good God, you'd think I wouldn't be reacting this way after seeing them before. But this man's body is like something straight out of a webtoon. It's the classic webtoon guy male lead body. Very fit.
Well then.
If you keep letting me do this, then I just might start thinking that I really am the exception.
Or I could just be giving you a taste of something that you'll soon have to work for the more we continue this.
Okay, we have our little quips.
But that's for you to figure out later, because right now, I think you have something to finish here, don't you?
With his blessing, I graze my lips past his neck towards his chest. His muscles are so taut against my touch that it's like kissing a marble statue. One glorious masterpiece, as if carved by the masters themselves. As such, I know I should do my best to appreciate this work of art. Pressuring my lips to him, I leave soft welts along his skin as he continues to run his fingers through my hair.
His touch only makes me kiss him even harder, my tongue tasting the salt of his flawless skin. While he guides me closer to him, edging my curiosity towards what lies below. Yet, all of a sudden, he brings my lips back to his. I told you, I can't have you getting your way just yet. You're going to just have to wait till I make another exception for you. Wrapping his arms around my waist, Kingsley is already having me straddle him as we share another kiss. Then, as we move in for another, we both suddenly hear a familiar voice from behind the door. I bet it is Olive.
Kingsley, I've got those files from Mr. Ford.
Yikes, it's Olive. At once, I nearly topple off Kingsley, my hands already flying across my clothes as I try to fix myself up. After a few moments, he leisurely follows suit, almost as if waiting for Olive to open the door on us. Also, don't you need to, button your shirt or something, sir? Or you're just gonna put your coat on top? I don't believe you're wearing your coat right now. Should I be worried that you're not in a rush either? I happen to be quite confident about my sense of impeccable timing. Adjusting at his collar, he leans in and presses a surprisingly tender kiss to my lips while opening the door. Well then, Miss Blythe, I do believe I've addressed all of your concerns. I can't help notice the way Olive's eyes... I can't help but notice the way Olive's eyes widen as I make my way out the door. Oh, she has to know. I bet she does. People don't give each other that look unless they know. Unless... So, Miss Blythe, do you think you'll be needing another appointment soon?
Considering what I'm dealing with, I might need to make it sooner than later.
Kingsley almost gives himself away with a strange chuckle as Olive continues to stare between the two of us.
What happened with your friends, Millie?
Oh, I think they're waiting somewhere outside. I should go find them, actually. Kingsley fights back another snicker, which only rattles Olive even more.
Should I even ask Mr. Kingsley?
You can ask, but whatever goes on in here is confidential. Though, in the case of Miss Blythe, I'm sure it's not surprising to know that she was merely being the harbinger of chaos, as usual. Making my way to the door, I tease him back with a look. Oh, Kingsley, I know you liked it just as much as I did. And with that, I let myself out, knowing full well that our chaos has only just begun. Look at them being cute. Oh, customer list. Okay. Jerry. Kate. Steve. Oops, Streve. I mean, that can also... Mina. Linda. There is one potion that is well known for healing all kinds of cuts and bruises. It is called hot stuff. I don't know.
I have been having trouble relaxing lately. Could you provide me with something to soothe me?
There's one potion that is well known for healing all kinds of cuts and bruises. It is called hot stuff. Sorry, stuff was the first noun that came to mind. To Linda from Millie.
Your advice had me laughing so hard that I spilled my coffee. Thanks for the chuckles and the unexpected cleanup job.
Well, I'm glad to make you laugh. You should get myself a treat, like a favorite donut. I love donuts. Or ice cream with some extra sprinkles.
What should I do to get my stop to stop eating my books?
That doesn't make sense for this piece of advice. To Mina from Millie. Let's see what the response is.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm all about this. I'm legit excited to see how it goes.
Okay. It might sound cliche, but would you do a warm bubble press? Accompanied by essential oils. Some orange or lemon are very soothing in their scent. You could even light a candle
to make the room smell warmer as well. I want to make an idol group. How should I go about doing this?
This is kind of funny. I love that it's kind of just randomized Mad Lib stuff, which makes sense. It's Mad Libs.
I thought about your recommendation, but I don't think it's the best course of action for me at this point.
Funny.
Drink a potion made out of seaweed and rice. It will put you to sleep and stop any overthinking you may be having. I can't stand the way vampires sparkle in the sun. What can I do to help their skin?
I love that. It's so random. Okay, one more. Oops, sorry, I didn't get to read Steve's response.
A potion that increases blank and blank for others when used appropriately will do the trick. Just make sure you... Patience?
Understanding.
Just make sure you use it very, very sparingly. I found a spell book which lets me control the weather. How can I harness this power?
It's kind of random. To Jerry from Millie. Okay, so I believe your advice is duly noted, but I'm leaning towards exploring other options before making a decision. Thanks for understanding. Okay, well that is the end of the Kingsley route in this demo. As you can see, I have 3 more chapters to go, an extra episode in the demo, which I will be getting to soon-ish. That was cute. Also, I want to know more, like, how did, like, Millie and Kingsley, or, like, Millie and Zero kind of get to that point? Like, there has to be more we see. I'm sure there'll be extra chapters, even the ones on top of the ones we couldn't, like, unlock on the left side of the character, routes. But yeah, I don't know, it's cute. Let me know what you think. If you were to play this game, or when you do play this game, or even the demo, who would you go first? Who would you go for first? Would it be Zero or would it be Kingsley? I think both of them are equally fun. It's really nice seeing both of them. I like both of their character designs too, and the general premise of the story is very fun. So yeah, I would just do what I'm doing right now, if I could. But yeah, I'll be back soon with another part. If you want to support the Kickstarter campaign, which I highly recommend doing, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go to the webpage there. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I will see you next time. Bye!